This is hockey, the world's greatest show. Let me introduce you to the Devils you know. New Jersey Devils. New Jersey Devils.
Hello, Devils fans and all-around hockey fans, because if you don't like what you're seeing from the New Jersey Devils, you're out of your fucking minds. Welcome to the Devils You Know podcast. This is season 3, believe it or not, but this is really the first season because the first 2 seasons were practice summer summer seasons where there was nothing going on with the Devils other than people screaming about Fitz lying to us about what he was going to do all summer. But now if you think about it, let me change that up a little bit. Now if you think about it, great things happened over this summer. The Devils have never been deeper. They're strong. Nason came back tonight. We lost Cody Glass. He didn't play tonight. Hallinan was back in. But, by the way, I should just mention for the people listening, this was Game 7, Minnesota Wild coming into New Jersey, Game 7 of the season. Devils coming into the game, 5-1, 5 wins in a row, coming into this game against Minnesota. Now, I believe Minnesota was 3-2-2 after 7 games or something like that. Don't care. We're not here to talk about the Wilds. Stupid name, by the way. Just like Mammoth and Kraken. Anyway, that's off topic. Let me take a sip of water. We had some special things happen. Special things happened tonight. So, last night, obviously, they were in Toronto. So you would think that, well, I don't know if you would think, but for the Devils, the way things have gone for the Devils in the recent years, the second end of a back-to-back is never good for them. Usually they would lose the weekend back-to-backs. But 2 night games on a weekday. On weekdays, this is a Tuesday and Wednesday back-to-back, home and away, Toronto, New Jersey. They had this killer game in Toronto, beat down in Toronto. If you listened to the last episode, if you haven't, check it out. I talk a lot about my Fanatics creator profile and how you can use that to get discounts on all NHL shop kind of stuff and all that. Obviously, I am a Fanatics creator. But off of that, so they come home to Minnesota, and you think, all right, this isn't gonna be the Devils we know. Ironically. But we have Stefan Nason, and then you think we lost Glass. Now let me skip back to the summer. People were a little upset about what happened over the summer. Well, listen, just hear me out. Hear me out. Cody Glass has been excellent. We signed Cody Glass for 2 years. Excellent guy, excellent center. Love his play. He's got a goal. He's got a couple assists. Connor Brown, one of the most underrated signings. I mean, let me back up. Let me back up. 7 games into the season and some of the preseason games, watching him, it's an underrated signing for the Devils. Because they didn't have a huge signing. Their huge signing was signing their own players, which is always a positive thing. The Devils have, for them, it's never 100%, but for the most part, have been a team that grows their own. They're not a New York Rangers type team where they'll draft, and then trade all of those guys to bring in the big gun. They almost took Mario Lemieux from Pittsburgh. That would have been the nail in the coffin for the Rangers if they would have just ruined Mario Lemieux's career. They did it to Gretzky. Look, Gretzky went on to play coach in Arizona. Like, come on, he went nuts after he went to New York. The curse of MSG. We all know it. Whether you're a Devils fan or not. Now let's get to the game. Paul Cotter slams one in, gets a goal. I'm not sure if it's because the lines changed. Yeah, changed. Um, Nason was on the line with Cotter and Glendening, I believe. Yeah, so I'm not sure if it was that because Cotter's goal was from Connor Brown and Dawson Mercer. So actually, that doesn't really make much sense. So, like I said, Connor Brown's that was his first assist as a Devil. He's got a goal. He had that great goal against the Oilers, his former team. Amazing goal, actually. But Paul Cotter's now got his first of the season. So now he's broken the ice. Nason's got to break the ice. We went pointless for Jake Hughes tonight. He was a little sloppy. A little over the place, a little sloppy. But for the most part, a lot of things were different with the score sheet tonight, except for one staple that we always have on the board. Anyway, so we start with Paul Cotter, first goal at 16:21, like late in the first, from Connor Brown, first assist, and Dawson Mercer. And then they go up about like 6 minutes into the second. They go up 2-0. Brendan Dillon scores 2 nights in a row. This back-to-back was a Brendan Dillon showcase. Mercer assist again. Simone Nemetz, his 4th assist of the season. Kind of getting shit on, Nemetz. Getting shit on a lot. Seamus Casey's up and ready playing in Utica. So it looks like it's going to be tough for these Devils defensemen. They got Kovacevic. They got a whole lineup of solid defensemen right now. Then you got to put Seamus Casey in there. Then you got to put Kovacevic in there. Then you got Anton Saleyev. That's a third. You don't want to mess with the defensive part of this team right now. They're doing excellent. They have been, I would say, stellar. Stellar is a good word because stellar is just a good word. All right, so the next goal, there's a little story behind it. Okay, so the name of this episode is a Gritsyukian bargain. Now, what is a Gritsyukian bargain? Gritsyukian is a word I made up, describing actions of someone who is new to their surroundings. His Gritsyukian fumbling with the local customs made him stand out as a newcomer. That's the way I put the definition. But the Gritsyukian, like anything good and new, is Gritsyukian. Okay, so I have to add on to. I made the word up. I'm gonna add to this definition. So, I'm using like a Faustian bargain, but that term, if you know what that means. If you don't, check it out, or a Faustian deal. I used that term, and I made the name a Gritsyukian bargain because Arseniy Gritsyuk finally scored his first goal tonight. And before we even get into it, from Timo Meier, by the way, on the power play, I have to tell you the story. I knew the Devils were playing tonight against Minnesota. It was second night of a back-to-back. I honestly thought they were going to drop a game, but I really thought that it was time for Gritsyuk. I really thought so. I said Gritsyuk is gonna score tonight. He's been skating. He's been getting those good looks. He's had some, probably I would say multiple chances throughout the first 6 games. Even the last 5 wins in a row. Many chances to get his first goal. He's been so close. And then later on, we find out that the lines have been shuffled because of Cody Glass and Nason and all that. That Gritsyuk is now on the second line, um, playing on the power play. So what do? What anyone would do? I opened up a FanDuel account. No, I do not condone betting, and I'm not gonna bet ever again. And you have to put $20 into the thing. It's the least amount you could add to the account. I wanted to make a $10 bet. I'm an idiot. I should. Well, actually, someone told me, they said, whenever you have a win, you should never say should have. But what I said to him was, I should have just thrown the whole 20 at it and said, hey, Gritsyuk's going to score tonight. Throw 20, and I would have made a lot more money. But instead, I did, as you can see here, I put $10 down for Gritsyuk to score during this game, and I won $80. I won $80 off of my all day thinking about it's his night. Like just not like sitting around like ooh thinking about it, But like when I talked hockey, because I talk hockey all day with all different kinds of people for all different kinds of reasons. And when I was talking to a few people about the game that's tonight, I said I think this guy Gritsyuk. These were Islander fans that I first said it to earlier. I said I think our rookie Gritsyuk is going to score his first goal tonight. I have a feeling he's got a hot stick and he just hasn't hit the net. But he has hit the net. He hasn't gotten it past the goalie. And then of course, I told my friend Stacy. I told people at the dog park. I told my boss. I told my people on Twitter and then he scores the goal from Timo Meyer right off the. It was just so quick. It was so Gritsyukian. That's what it was. It was Gritsyukian. The goal was Gritsyukian. Timo just wins it. He gets it right to him, and he takes a wrist shot that like a Mogilny esque Gritsyukian wrist shot. Mogilny esque Gritsyukian wrist shot, and scores. And then, so that's from Timo Meyer. That's not, that's no. The surprises were the Connor Brown, the Paul Cotter, the Dylan with his second goal, Nemitz with his fourth assist, Mercer with 2 assists. Meyer's been pretty good, so he's not a surprise. But the Gritsyuk goal, obviously, and then Jesper Bratt gets on the, gets the last one for the Devils. An empty net goal for Bratt. Obviously, um, that's not something that's crazy to see. Just for Brad on the board, he's the leading scorer on the team. He has 4 goals and 7 assists. So what's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? That's 11 points on the season, and I think he's tied for 5th in the league in points. And I think he's also tied for 5th in the league in assists. But that might have changed after the Devils game tonight. I'm not sure. I haven't checked beyond the end of the game tonight. But as of that point, I believe that was the case. So, what do we have next? We have a Friday game against the Sharks, and then against Sunday against the Colorado Avalanche. So, what do I think is going to happen? What do you think? The Devils have now won 6 in a row. Stick a fork in them, Minnesota. They're done. You're done. What was it? Whip it up, wrap it up, rip it up. I forgot what that girl with Tourette's she says. Okay, but tomorrow night San Jose plays the Sharks. San Jose they are the Sharks. It's 1:30 on the dot a.m. right now, and this is gonna be released in like 8 hours or 7.5 hours. So give me a break. But the San Jose Sharks play the Rangers in New York tomorrow. tomorrow's Thursday. So then Friday. So they have a back to back because Friday they play in New Jersey. So they're going to be on their second game of a back to back. So the Sharks might be an easy win, but if the Sharks lose to the Rangers at the Garden, they're going to come out hot, and they could be one of those teams that just puts sticks the fork back into the Devils. And a lot of people are going to want to see that. The Sharks team was overrated coming into the season because of their lineup, just the names, not the history of the players and names, but just the names in general just made them look like a good team, but they haven't won a game, and they have a good chance of winning one at the Garden. I don't want to really play, fuck the Rangers right now, but fuck the Rangers. They have one goal at home in 4 games. That's pretty sad. But I'm also probably jinxing it now. They're probably going to score 8 goals against the Sharks, and the Sharks are then going to come out and try and light Jake Allen up because Well, now that's the question. Nico Dawes, hello, right here. This guy, right here. He's right to my right. If you're watching this, Nico Dawes, star of the game, one of the stars of the game. Dawson Mercer was the number 1 star of the game with his 2 assists. I think should or Dawes should be the first star. Gritsyuk just been playing excellent, got his first goal, give him the first star. Or Nico Dawes coming up and backup situation. Last year he played 5 games, had 1 shutout. He had played in 5 games. He was 3-1, 1 shutout in those 4. With excellent numbers. Then he played the Stadium Series. He won that game. That was very pressure. It doesn't matter that they played the Flyers. The pressure is what matters there, and he won that game. And then he comes in, plays a game like this against the Wilds, who have a lot, some good offensive talent. But obviously Kaprizov. We don't need to go on. They have some good defensemen, young defensemen too. Boldy, I think Boldy scored tonight. Am I wrong? Let me check. Let me check that Boldy score. Let me see who scored that goal. Did I really just? That was not even me. That's one of those recordings. Boldy did score. Yeah, Boldy from Eriksson Ek and Bulium. That's Matt Boldy's fifth goal of the season. So yeah. Great game. We had a lot of fun. I went through hell trying to get me. If you're on my X account, I have all the highlights and all that. I went through hell because the streams have been freezing like crazy. I have, I don't know if it's just the New York area, but there's been a really bad internet problem everywhere, and it's affecting me a lot. Like last night when I was recording the podcast after the Toronto game, I had to record it in 2 parts because I lost my internet. It just shut down. It just shut down for like an hour in the middle of the night. It happens in the middle of the day too. So, what else is there? If you'd like to donate, it's the holiday time's coming up. Your boy's hurting. So you can go to buymeacoffee.com/devilsjoint. You can check that out. Follow me on Substack, The Devils You Know. I don't know where you're listening. If you're on Substack, good. Spotify. If you're not on Spotify, find me on Spotify. Link should be below if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, check it out on YouTube. That's where I am. If you don't want to watch it on YouTube, tell me, hey, JJ, make an X account for your podcast and then post it to that account and pay, $10 a month for that account so you can post 25-minute long podcast videos to your account, or just do them live to that account. Either way, you guys spend $10 a month. Do that. Do that, JJ. Just do it. Just do it. You know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Who knows? Well, let's see. You know what? we'll see next episode. Hopefully, I believe I'll have someone on to talk hockey with me next episode, so I don't have to ramble on about one game for 20 minutes. Um, it's early in the season. There's not a lot to say. We just Seamus Casey's gonna come in, so things are gonna shake up. But if they're on a six game winning streak, and if they go on to a 7 or 8, they're not. I do not want to see a change. Seamus Casey can warm his ass up where he is. If they keep rolling, if they blow a game hardcore, defense gets shut down. All right, pull Nemec out. Siegenthaler, by the way, assist on Brad's goal tonight. So that was the other kind of rare point of the night. So with that Siegenthaler rare point of the night kind of shit, I'm gonna start playing the music to get us out of here, and that's this. Thank you for listening to the Devils You Know. Let's go, Devils. We'll see you after the next game against the San Jose Sharks. Bye-bye.